Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sega. I was recently admitted to Cornell and Vanderbilt, and in this video I just want to go over my ECs and stats that got me into those two schools. And like I said in my college reaction video, if you haven't seen it before, something I don't like to do is gatekeep. So anytime I have any knowledge or anything that I want to share with you guys, I will make sure to make a video and post it here. So without a further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the video. So first off is the education. I'm gonna go by this pretty fast because this mostly depends on your school. So yeah, here we have the school I attended. This is probably gonna be blurred out when I edit it, but here are the colleges and universities that I attended. So this is just something that I could do. It's called PSEO. That's in Minnesota and some other states, and it just stands for post-secondary enrollment opportunities. If I'm wrong, I'll put the actual definition up. But yeah, these are just the colleges I was able to take the courses at. And when I mean take courses at these colleges, I mean like physically sit in the college classrooms, and have like a professor actually teach it. So that's a great opportunity to get actual college experience. Then moving on to grades, my rank was unknown because our school did not do ranks, but the graduating class was 120. So if that gives you a perspective how small my school was. But yeah, we just didn't do ranks, so that's something you don't have to report on the Common App. My GPA was a 3.92 out of 4.0 unweighted. Again, our school did not do weighted, so I have no idea what my weighted GPA is. But if you're worried about like people having like 5.0 out of 5.6 weighted or something like that, college admission officers will always transfer it to unweighted when reviewing your application. So don't worry about that. They'll know how to do that. So no one's going to get an unfair advantage over you. Just know that your unweighted GPA is something that they will most likely go up based off. So next up, going on to the courses I took during my senior year. AP Statistics is one of the courses I took, and PSEO behind it. These were the only two courses that I took in person. The rest were, as you can see, self-studied exams. So CSA, Calc BC, Physics C Mechanics, and then Physics C Electricity and Magnetism. And these were self-studied, and the reason I put them on over here in the current or most recent year coursework is because the self-studied exams don't pop up anywhere else other than down here where you can do your AP testing where you can add it here, but they're not gonna know where that showed up for. So for me, I decided to just put it in here as self-studied, and I let them know when I was taking the exam. This isn't required, but this was just a workaround that I discovered when to let the schools know that I actually did take these courses, that I wanted to go and find these opportunities. Because as I said, our school was a small school, so we didn't have many teachers to teach these AP courses. So, this is just a quick way to let them know that, I took the initiative to find these opportunities elsewhere where it wasn't offered at my school. And then moving on to second semester, I took general physics 2 with calculus, multivariable calculus, linear algebra, and differential equations, programming fundamentals, and then intermediate Spanish 2. I took Spanish because it was a graduation requirement for my high school, so that's why I took it. And then the rest of these were courses that I just wanted to take through PSEO, so through the college. And I think that what helped me with my college admissions was this coursework because many students don't go past Calc 1. But I mean, like, the students who go to these top institutions, most of them do. But, the general population, most students take highest is Calc 1. So going on to linear algebra and differential equations and physics 2 at a college is something that shows, academic interest. So if you want to stand out with your college apps, I would say one way you can do that is enrolling into high rigorous courses, but don't do that if it's going to affect your grades, because at that point you're just showing you're putting too much on your plate that you can't handle. So make sure you're going with it like knowing what you're capable of, because I don't want you guys to be like enrolling into 8 APs and you're just having C's and D's, because at that point colleges aren't going to accept you because they know you can't handle this coursework. So if you have to do like 3 or 4 APs, by all means go ahead and do that, because you shouldn't be overloading yourself just to stand out. That's not going to work. College admission officers can see through you guys, because I know many people will say like there's tricks that you can like trick college admission officers. I promise you, any trick that you try to pull, the college admission officer will know when they're reading your file. And if you do get away with it, if it does come up, they do have the privilege to, not privilege, they have the authority to take away your degree and stuff. So just be truthful on your comment app, and just try your best to stand out. That's the main thing I can say. And then honors was the most one of the most things was something I was scared of when I was applying to colleges, because as you can see, I don't have that many strong honors. To be honest, I don't have any strong honors. Most of these, the top three that you see are national level. These are all from College Board that I was just awarded through email. And then the bottom two, the distinguished honor roll and high honor roll, are just stuff that my school does for our GPA. So, AP Scholar with Distinction, First Generation Recognition Award, and School Recognition Award. Those are just stuff from College Board that I was automatically sended just based off some criterias. But yeah, I guess this can show that you don't need the strongest honors. You can stand out anywhere else with the college application. It doesn't need to be like a full rounded, like perfect everywhere. You can have some lacking, but you have to make it up somewhere else. So I think that's where maybe my essays and my coursework helps. And then quickly, future plans. You just choose some options. So I just chose engineer and then my bachelor's. Next up, we have testing. So for testing, I decided to submit my ACT. So I had a composite of a 32, and then I took it. It says taking two times. I did take it multiple times, but when I mean multiple times, I mean I took it only four times during my senior year, because I had no idea that you had to apply to take the exam. I thought you could just walk in any day and take the exam, but um, 11th grade me trying to apply to the test during the summer, noticing that it's filled up and I have to wait all the way to September of my senior year. So yeah, when I mean I'm first gen, guys, I mean like really, really first gen. Like I had no idea what I was doing. So when I got into these good schools, I was low-key surprised. I think you can tell by my reaction in the video. I did not expect much. I just shot my shot at many schools, but that doesn't mean I didn't put the work in to, get these good scores, these good courses. So if you're not a good test taker like me, go ahead and take these advanced classes and do well in the class. And colleges can, like, say, you know this so and so, their test score is good. And what I mean by not good test score, I'm not saying like a 18 ACT. You know what I mean? Like a very like average ACT. They're like, so and so doesn't have the best ACT score, but he makes up for it, or she makes up for it, or they make up for it in their their extracurriculars, or in their essays, or in their courses that they took. So that's just one way to let you know, guys. If you have a low test score, don't think you shouldn't apply to a school. If you have, like, if you think you have a chance, even if it's like 0.00001% chance, still shoot your shot, because you never know, it might go in. It works for me, so it might work for you guys. But yeah, composite 32. You can see math 34, science 31, English 29, reading 32. I don't know if I said that yet, but just to reiterate. But yeah, one advice I'd give on the ACT is try to hone into your strong suits. One thing that helped me increase my score was just, as you can see, English I was never good at. But instead of like spending hours and hours studying English, I decided to hone into like math and science and reading, because those were my strong suits. And that's what actually carried my score with this 29 English, because of my high math and my pretty high reading. It was able to offset the low English. So try to hone into your strong suits, and just like anything, like mostly like anything on the common application, just try to hone into your strong suit. Don't try to like be a perfect person. Just whatever you're strong with, just focus on that and put your best image forward, and colleges will accept you or reject you based off how they feel about you. You can't get perfect acceptance. That's just one thing. And then AP tests, like I said, I'm not a good test taker. So biology, I got a 3. CSP, I got a 3. I took those both my sophomore year. Then chemistry, Calc AB, Physics 1, Algebra Base, I got 4s on all three of those. I took that my junior year. And then computer science A, statistics, physics C, mechanics, physics C, electricity, and magnetism, and Calc BC. I took those my junior year. Sorry, my senior year. And there's no scores because I haven't got my scores back yet. But on the Common App, there's an option to say no score listed yet. So yeah. Next up, we have the activities. So activities, I think, is one of the spots that um kind of helped me in my college apps because I can, as you can see, my test scores are not that competitive, to be honest, at these pretty good schools. So activities is where I probably shined. So first activity is Minnesota chapter president, Everyday Engineering Roots and Circuits 501. She registered nonprofit. So quick description: you get a limited amount of words. You just say design lessons and hands-on learning STEM activities for students to collaborate and find solutions while exploring different engineering fields. Um, to be honest, there are many ways you can go with this. You can either go like a sentence, like I did, or you can go by bullet points, or anything that you really want to do. And many people put like numbers as their stuff. To be honest with you, I didn't have that many numbers, so I didn't mention the numbers. That's a good thing about the Common App. You can put what you want to put. You don't have to put other stuff. That doesn't mean you can lie, but you don't have to show everything. That's a good thing. So I did this during my junior year, summer, and my senior year during the school year. So I did that for 4 hours a week, 20 weeks an hour, 20 weeks a year. And as you can see, everything says continue. You get an option on the Common App. It says, do you want to continue something similar to this in college or not? So for most of these, I think I put continue. But I don't know if that helps you on your application, but that's just something I did because truthfully, I would want to continue doing a nonprofit. And I think I wrote something similar in my Princeton essay because there was some program that was very similar to what I did in high school. So this nonprofit, something very similar. I don't know if that helped. I did get rejected, so take what you want to take from that. My next activity was robotics, propulsion team member at the University of Minnesota rocket team. So I would attend weekly meetings to discuss projects, progress, and provide input, and I assisted with machining, CAD, casting, motor assembly. I think this activity is one of my best activities, other than the nonprofit. Reason being, not many people are on college or even university rocket teams. So uh, you know, this is just something that stands out. And if you're wondering how I got this opportunity, all I did was just email the school and I asked, can I join in? And they told me to go to this information meeting. And I thought they would like, they didn't know I was a high schooler, but I'm not the first high schooler to do it. There's many other high schoolers who did it. So this is just something that you guys are able to do. I'm not sure at all colleges, but like I said, if you think you have a chance, shoot your shot. You never know, it might go in. So that's what I did, and I did it during the senior year for 3 hours a week, 16 weeks in a year, and that's something I want to continue in high school. I mean, in college, especially at Cornell, where they have a really good rocket team and project teams. I mean. And then another activity was this is another one I think that shows my creative side. Says owner of the AP Explain YouTube channel, AP Explain. So I created YouTube videos teaching AP Physics topics to help students understand concepts and be prepared for their AP exam. I did this my senior year for 3 hours a week, 20 weeks a year. And this is something I want to continue in college, which is truthful. I probably want to, not probably, I do want to continue this channel in college. I'm not gonna let you guys know what the channel is. You probably can find it if you really want to, but to be honest, it was not that good. As you can see, I did it my senior year. It's not something I did all 4 years of high school. I started in my senior year during the school year, and the only reason I think it worked out for me is I was working my butt off during school year. I tried to upload as many videos as I could, and you don't need to have like these fully in-depth like organic chem tutor videos. You can have like YouTube shorts or like TikToks of just like solving physics problems to help students. That's what I did. I did like daily problems every day. So I'd upload like me solving a daily problem for students to learn. This is just one of those like unique things that you can do. And I was just what made me think of doing this, you know, I was someone probably relates to this right now. I was like very clueless, like how can I stand out on my Common App? And I saw like, people make YouTube channels all the time. There's this one guy who was also a senior this year. I think he's going to Stanford. You guys probably know him. He did like SAT and ACT prep videos. So I was like, why don't I do that for physics? Because when I was prepping for my AP physics exam, there wasn't many physics videos you could rely on. So I just chose to do physics, and it worked out. Next up is research, high school research at the University of Minnesota Aerospace Engineering and Mechanics Lab. Um, you know, Another thing, research is very helpful. The way I got my research is I just emailed the professor. Cold emailing is a good skill you guys should all learn, especially to get opportunities as a high schooler. Just cold emailing people, just saying if you have any open opportunities that you'll take. I'm gonna be honest. If you guys want these good like opportunities in college, I mean in high school, you have to be like very determined to like keep going after you get many no's. I sent like maybe 25, 20, like 30 emails to professors, and I finally got a yes. And if you do know anyone who's doing research at a university, or you have if you have like any connection at all, because I had no connections, um, if you just have any connections at all, you can go ahead and like ask them to put you on, because that's one way to get these opportunities. But I'm gonna be honest, you know, most of these opportunities that you're gonna get in university and college is mainly connections. So you need to use your connections when you can. So that's just a quick thing. Yeah, I did this my senior year, 4 hours a week, 12 weeks in a year, and continue. That's something I want to continue doing. And then now going into the more, school involved activities, I was the student representative on board of representatives for my school. And a quick description, I just represented the student body by voicing my peers' concerns and advocating for meaningful changes to expand student opportunities. Yeah, I was elected end of junior year for to be here for my senior year. 4 hours a week, 18 weeks a year. Something I would continue doing probably. I wouldn't mind being a student representative again, especially in college. But yeah, this is just. I think this just shows leadership and initiative to try to solve problems that are in your school. And as a student representative, I did do a lot. Me personally, I would say I did do a lot. Main thing I did was offer a lot of opportunities and resources for students. One thing was like a scholarship resource. I'm not sure if I wrote that anywhere in my Common App, but that was just something I did. You know, just to let you guys know, that's just like something you could do. Next up, we have National Honor Society. So senior year, I was the president. 11th grade, I was a member. Sophomore, I was inducted into NHS. But yeah, so as president, I led meetings, created and presented slides, organized service events to strengthen the community and improve communication in the club. Um, I'm gonna be honest, NHS does get a lot of hate from people. They say like, NHS is useless. Everyone does it. I think as long as you have either an EC role, so like president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, or whatever roles you got your school does, or you actually do something for the NHS, then it's actually helpful. But that's pretty much with all activities with the Common App. If you're not actively, doing something in the club or actively doing something, there's no point in putting it because colleges want to see someone who's gonna make a change in the world, someone they want to invest in. So if you're not going ahead and making these opportunities or fixing something, they're not gonna accept you because it's there's someone else behind you who's actually going to solve something in the future. So make sure if you're putting a club on there, make sure you show any like change or initiative that you did. But yeah, I did that for 2 hours a week and 36 weeks an hour. 36 weeks per year. Sorry. And yeah, continue. You know, want to do something similar in the future. Next up is Black Student Union. So I was vice president my senior year, future leader junior year, and then member sophomore and freshman year. So basically, just created, presented slides on Black history and current events, and raised school-wide awareness and coordinate field trips. So I think this part, this raised school-wide awareness, I think that's a part that stuck out on my application for this exact activity because, like I said, you need to show that you made change or you were trying to make change. So I said raise school-wide awareness. That just like it says I was trying to do something and I did do something. So, try to use action words or action verbs in your application so that the schools know that you weren't a bum doing nothing. You were actually like working hard to like make change. But yeah, I did this all years of high school, 2 hours a week, 36 weeks a year, and yeah, something I would like to continue. And then next up is co-founder of the school's tutoring program. We call it peer tutoring. So it's just tutoring sixth graders, just helping them with the incoming. let me just read the description. Helped incoming sixth graders with their transition from elementary to middle school by teaching them study techniques, organizations, and action planning. Um, did this my junior and senior year. Did this my junior and senior year. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Did this my junior and senior year. But yeah, I did this for 2 hours a week, 36 weeks a year. I think I got these numbers by doing some calculation with the school year. Um, I'm not sure. If I remember, I'll let you guys know down in the description. But yeah, you can do. Try not to lie about your hours. Try to make them seem realistic. And yeah, that's all I can say. Then right here, community service. I did office assistant at my school. Basically, all I did was deliver packages, refill supplies, and assisted teachers to lighten the office staff's workload to help the school run efficiently. I did this my senior year for 4 hours a week, 30 weeks a year. I feel like this activity is self-explanatory. I was just an assistant, nothing much, nothing more. But yeah. Next up, I was a volunteer tutor, peer homework assistance. This was at just my local library. So I just tutored students of all ages and STEM subjects and helped them master any concepts they struggled with. I did this my junior and senior year because I had to volunteer for NHS, but tutoring is something I always liked, and I think this is one thing I emphasized in my essays. So this was just a really good activity to end off my list with, since you get a limit of 10 activities, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, make sure you guys are choosing activities that reflect your character and show initiative. Don't try to put on like um, I don't know, let's say engineering club. If you just say engineering club and you said a member of all 12 years and attended meetings, you can put that, I guess, engineering club, but you need to show initiative. So like maybe you're the president, or maybe you solve the problem, or maybe you propose like projects to do, or something that just makes you show that you did something. Try to make sure that shows in all 10 activities. um, but yeah, you don't have to list 10. You can list five, or I think there's a minimum requirement. I'm not sure, but you don't have to go all out. And yeah, just another thing I want to say real quick. There are activities that I did leave out on my activities part because they didn't like do much. So I think like Tri-M, it's like a music honor society. To be honest, I didn't really do much in that club, so there wasn't much to put down. So I just filled it in with other stuff. So and hospital volunteering, that's another thing. But I'm an engineer, so hospital volunteering isn't something that really matters. And then I think this is the last part. Oh yeah, personal essay we will go over in a different video. But yeah, responsibilities and circumstances. So here you can put in anything that you want the admission officer to know when they're reading your application. So for me, I think, oh yeah, this is where you had like a checklist of what you want to check off. So it said interpreting or translating for family or household members, providing transportation for family or household members, taking care of young family or household members. I think I might have selected none of these on accident. I don't know why I did that, but yeah. Um, these are just stuff to show that, other than your school, what other responsibilities did you have? And if you don't have many activities and you do have one of these responsibilities, this can help you because they'll be like, oh, this guy was busy with other stuff. There's no, what am I trying to say? This guy was busy with other stuff. So it's okay that he didn't, have this many activities because he had to put his family first. So that's just a great thing that the Common App adds that I really like. Skipping the writing, right here, challenges and circumstance. This is where you can write down what you want. To be honest, you don't have to write this. You can leave this and additional information blank. But for challenges and circumstance, I just said like, because both of my parents work full time and often overtime to support our family, I stepped into a parental role by taking care of my younger siblings, assisting them with their homework and cooking for them. As a result, I did not have many extracurriculars activities during my freshman and sophomore year. So this is something you can put down if you're lacking with activities, but make sure it's a solid reason. Don't go up saying, I was busy on the grind on Fortnite that I couldn't play. Like, make sure you have a solid reason why you had. So, like, family responsibilities or working a job to help support your family, something that actually is reasonable. And then I said enrolling in my school. Freshman year meant I couldn't choose many of my courses, so which delayed my future classes by a year since I lacked prerequisites for certain courses. So, like I said, coming in my freshman year, I didn't have the opportunity to choose my courses, so that required me to try to play catch up with these other students who were here from middle school. Um, yeah, just I wanted to let them know that's why I didn't have many APs. But like I think I had 10 APs when I graduated, so it did work out. And then, due to the school being a small school, there is a lack of certain AP classes that I had wished to take. So because of this, I had to self-study them during my senior year. So that's why, like I said, I wanted to let them know that I self-studied, like I went out of my way to get this college credit because I knew that my school wasn't offering it, so I had to go somewhere else to get it. So that's just like, another way to let them know. So just challenging circumstances is just anything you want to know that was like hindering you or blocking you from like reaching something. Here's where you put it. So don't be afraid to put something. Make sure it's reasonable. If you think it's reasonable, go ahead and put it. Just try not to regret not putting stuff on your comment app. That's one thing I want to say. And additional information, just for me, the nonprofit website and the YouTube channel, I had a link to both of them. I think I might have just showed it in the bottom left corner. I will blur that out because I do not want you guys to find it. But I promise you, if you really want to look, if you search it up, you will find it. But yeah. And then last but not least, education progression details is just gonna say, do you have any changes? So are you graduating early? Are you graduating late? For me, there's just no change. But yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know this video was pretty long, but I feel like it's a good in-depth description of my application. Like I said, if I were to include the essays, this would be, 40 minutes long. That's way too long. The video is long enough already. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry for like rambling off a lot. If you guys have any questions or want any help or any future video ideas, please put them down in the comments down below, and I will try to respond to all the comments that you guys send in. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video off here. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you haven't. More videos to come. And yeah, hope you guys have a good day. And just gonna end the video.